this is that session we couldn't have 2 Wednesdays ago. A number of persons actually showed up when they saw the topic we're talking about. Because relationship issues, really deep stuff. Nothing really gets as deep to a person as a relationship hurt. Let me put it like that. In fact, I believe nothing hurts you as bad as the hurt from a loved one. There's certain things you can tolerate from a random person, you can tolerate from your boss, you can tolerate from your neighbor, your bestie, but that loved one, in fact, some from your parents, if you can even still tolerate. So your siblings can say, I beg. But that one you have said, I want to carry my love. Exactly. That one, you say, after I give you all this love, you now touch the wrong place. It can really hurt. So many people have been hurt in their love journey. And some people think it's the end of the road. Some people are scared to seek help. They just don't want to be perceived as weak, or don't want to be perceived as suffering or going through stuff. There are cases where people are sharing some touching events in their lives, and they try to let you know that they're in the middle of it, and they try to let you know, no, don't worry, I'm actually okay. But you know that, hey,
no, I don't need a pity.
No, you're not really okay. It's okay to not be okay sometimes. So we're just going to chit chat today. The people who are listening, and we trust the wisdom of God to just speak through you and touch different areas, as it were. So let's just get right into it. Over to you. Okay, please, this is. Let me introduce you, please.
Where do you want me to start from?
I know, right?
Let's start with people hurting and not admitting they are hurting. I think that's a cultural thing. It's a cultural thing. It's how you've been raised. I believe, is a personal and individual thing. It has to do with your environment, the kind of belief system that's been instilled and put inside of you. If you're raised in a family if you're from a family where when you are hurt, you cry, or you show weakness, or you show something, then automatically that's the only thing you grow up believing that if something happens to you and you try to express yourself, it shows weakness. Because I have a friend that used to tell me that never let them see your tears.
Wow.
Never.
For what reason?
He believes in it so much that if they see your tears, they would mess you up. Which means
True.
Don't let them know you're weak.
Yeah.
But then it's a two-edged sword. It can work both ways. Weakness is strength. If you're not vulnerable, you can't heal. Even with God, if you're broken, the Holy Spirit would not come. The Holy Spirit can't work with you. So as difficult as it is for us to be vulnerable or weak where we have people, weakness is strength. That's the beginning of the journey. That's the start. If you cannot open yourself up, if you cannot be vulnerable, if I cannot come and tell you I am hurt, if I cannot call my friend and say, hey, this is happening, then you haven't started. You're lying to yourself.
True.
And my own journey, my own experience, I got married just like any regular girl. You have your dreams, you want to get married, you get married, nobody even thought about, you didn't even prepare for marriage. Then they marry you.
There's that,
They marry, now you marry. Just when you go to work, you go to church, you stay at home, bam, you can cook, you can clean, bam. That's it. You have nailed it. Marriage outcome.
Here we are.
Currently, it doesn't work because you're too different from different worlds, different upbringing, different ideology, different values, different understanding. Even as Christians, we still have different denominations. So what are we talking about? So I got married thinking, oh, a walk in the park. My parents had a beautiful marriage. Why not? Why wouldn't I have a perfect marriage?
Why not?
And I entered with my full chest.
Wow.
And I realized I didn't even prepare for marriage. One thing led to another. We tried, it didn't work, and the problem started, the hurt. And this time I was disappointed. I was my own problem. The hurt, the unforgiveness, everything was towards myself. Like, how dare I not make it work? So I didn't understand that it was okay to fail. It was okay to make mistakes. It's okay.
Okay, man. You're human, man.
Okay, it's not that there was shame.
Wow.
The marriage had the issues. I was ashamed to leave. What would people say? So in Nigeria, you have to women, people go through the different phases where you first of all accept that it is not going to happen. It's not, even if Jesus Christ comes, that relationship is not going. And why? What happens? You're from different places.
Yeah.
You're not intentional about investing in your marriage. You were given a script by your parents.
Yeah.
You cook, you eat that. It's not serving anybody anymore. And when you realize that it is what it is, you don't take time out to seek help.
Yeah.
You don't take time out. I didn't even know. I'd left the marriage before I even knew anything about help that you could. Then if you went to seek therapy, so if you go for marriage counseling, the Bible will tell you, the church too, they have their role. They'll tell you, oh,
pray.
You pray. I pray. I fast.
Mountain.
But it wasn't attractive. So let me make it clear. I'm a Jesus baby. I don't joke. You know me.
I know.
But I understand there is a place, God's place cannot be replaced.
Yeah.
And there's also a place for therapy, for science.
Oh, yeah.
So when you have the good book, what does the Bible say about marriage? And how do you apply it? God grants you wisdom. God has also given people wisdom, experts, to help guide you to break these things down.
True.
I remember pastors I met with, and they're like, oh, there was no help. They would just tell you the Bible says X, Y, Z. You cannot say, woman cannot, divorce is forbidden, and at that point, you just sit there. And resentment started. You start building resentment, anger. It just continued. And at some point, it got to a point where I started losing myself. I was ashamed. Wow. I hurt because I felt, as a young girl, I had everything in my head all planned out. Date, marry, born. We have this now.
Oh, yeah.
You guys, you put something there. You want to get married here. Yes, it's fine. But are you working towards it? How are you putting it together? How are you working?
Yeah.
Apart from praying, are you working on yourself? I had my own issues. I had my own trauma. And sometimes something about trauma is you don't even know they exist. You don't even know these things are there. He probably doesn't know he's suffering, or he suffered a certain trauma at a point in his life. But when he gets married and you do something and it triggers that thing that his subconscious has put down, and boom, there's an explosion. And you call him a bad man. He calls you a bad woman. Yeah. And the truth is you're bad. You just don't know how to manage, and you refuse to seek help. So when I got to the point where I decided to, it was a tough one. I'd made various, but when I decided to leave, I didn't even tell anybody. And why did I tell people that, I say this with all humility, that my daughter saved me.
Wow. Please.
Because at that point in time, at that point in time, I'd lost myself. I was fine with the whole chaos. I was just coasting. I was, you're on autopilot. You can be depressed for years and not even realize you are. And you're doing things, you're just moving, you're moving on. So when I realized, I looked at my child and looked at her and said, you know what? This is a gift from God. I cannot afford to destroy her.
Yeah.
And that was where that you can do anything. I'm an adult. But when it comes to this child, no. She doesn't deserve this. So honestly, she was the push. If it was just me, maybe I wouldn't have had the strength I had at that. Eventually, it would have happened. But at that time left, I would say my daughter saved me. She pushed me to make that decision. And I came out a wreck. So,
whoa. Okay, hold on. I hope you can, catch your thought, because I want to take you back on a few points, and then we'll come back here.
Okay.
Yeah. So let me even take note of where you stopped. So where you said you came out a wreck.
Yeah.
All right. So hopefully I'll come back there.
Yeah.
Now, so you mentioned a number of things that, between me and you we understand what we're saying as practitioners in the field, but I don't know if people really understand that concept when we say that there is something called preparing for marriage.
Yeah.
It's alien to some people, actually. So I'm wishing that you could, by any means, expatiate on that a bit. Like, what's there to prepare for now? After all, you're an adult. You went to school. You're educated. So what else do you need to prepare for marriage for? You can speak English. You have been friends with that person for a while, perhaps.
You want me to? Okay. So, like I said, I didn't prepare for marriage. I felt I had a good job. I was doing good. From a great family. I had things going for me. I loved God.
Yeah, a Christian.
I didn't think there was anything to prepare for until I got married. Issues around fund management started. So what is
very critical.
What is there to prepare for? A lot. Because people. Okay, I had a conversation yesterday at the airport. I had a delayed flight. And this lady, a single lady, was speaking, and we had this conversation that what is there to prepare for? And I told her a lot to prepare for. What are your values? You know that when God created us, God gave us to our parents perfect, whole, empty, and everything. Our parents then, put in what they have, what they've received from their parents, with a mix of what they've learned, and they put it to us.
That's true.
Use their culture, their belief system, everything, and we take it, and it differs from every family. People's siblings will take this thing on and run with it differently. So not to talk of having to marry someone. I'm a Yoruba girl born in Delta. I'm more Delta than Yoruba. I am wanting to be with a core Yoruba man. I'm Yoruba, but a lot of Yoruba culture I've had to learn. And at that time, I didn't believe I needed to investigate or read or find out anything about marriage. So what is there to prepare? You have to talk, a lot of talking, a lot of understanding, personality, not just not go and talk Chinese, not go and talk ice cream, not movie. It's fun to go, even when you date. There are important, you must ask, as a practitioner, there are important questions I ask my clients, like, why do you love him? Why do you want to be with him? And I look out for one thing. Oh, I just love how he makes me feel.
Oh, wow.
Now what?
Now also, it's temporal, man.
It's temporal. you know, it's temporal. So when I ask people, what do you, so we talk about values. What does he believe in? It's culture.
Yeah.
What's the ideology around upbringing and raising children?
Yeah.
You, what do you like? What are your traumas? Talk about your traumas. Talk about funding. Who is, talk about money. Talk about your desires. Talk about sex. Talk about everything, that let's understand where he is coming from and commit. Not just talk and you go. It's intentionality about identifying what could trigger or bring your marriage or your relationship down. And you take notes and you seek help. You can't do it on your own. So when we say prepare for, you can't on your own prepare for your marriage, because on your own all your life, your parents have been preparing you for marriage, the kind of marriage they know. But the marriage, it's everything, it's not working. Yeah. So you need professionals, experts to help you, walk you through, because by the time you sit down together, you will fight, you will disagree. Oh, yeah. And the relationship will not continue. I've had cases where by the time we finish the first or the second sessions, and they don't come back, they say, no, this can't work. Because they are seeing the difference.
Because they've seen it, man. It's so clear. Yeah.
The difference. But it shouldn't, if you're intentional about it and you can actually work and prepare and make it make it happen. That's right. It's a lot of work, a lot of vulnerability.
Yeah.
Being vulnerable, being willing to open. And it's not when you come after me with the conflict things I've shared with you. Oh, we have an argument, you afraid that that was what you did with your last year. That's why you blah blah blah. So a lot of people are afraid. Yeah. They don't want to share. So it's the maturity that comes with that. So having a professional guide you, that confidentiality, help you see that it's okay, it's not the end of the world. You can get better. It's like having malaria. And if you don't treat malaria, it moves to something else. So if you nip it at the beginning, you just take the paracetamol, your anti-malaria medication, you follow the prescriptions, you're fine. And you constantly protect yourself from, use mosquito nets, repellent, spray your, so it's as simple as that. Your own profession, you need a doctor. You need to go to the pharmacy to buy. You have the head knowledge and apply it. I hope that in fact, that has done serious justice to it, and while you were talking, there's something I say sometimes, that no normal person gets into marriage with a desire to just deal with their spouse. Like, this girl, I like her since now, I want to punish her life, let me marry her. Nobody gets married with that thought. Neither does any lady get married and say, this man, I will use bad attitude, I'll frustrate him, and we see problem in my heart. Nobody does that, really. But that's what we see many times in the marriage. You see, and it's not like it's because we want to be wicked, but they don't know better. They think what they are doing is just normal. It's just okay. That's how I am. All right. But like you said, problem. Life, you cannot come and want to change me. I cannot change you. And even my friends cannot change me.
You see, and I think that's where the vulnerability you spoke about comes in, because people need to be willing to now make adjustments. You need to learn your partner's personality types and temperaments, and the differences that exist between you guys, so that you know how you can work it out. All right. So in your case, for example, what would you say, talking mistakes now, I mean, you've learned from experience, going back in time, what would you do differently from getting into the relationship and marriage? What would you do differently? What would you look out for differently? Funny enough, I didn't hear what you said. I don't know if you said something or if you just did that. I actually didn't hear you, but I read your lip and I saw what you did.
If we're being honest, what I know, the learnings, the unlearned things I know now.
Yeah.
I not even start off a relationship with that person.
Yeah. I
would not. Because the truth is, What would, there's nothing. I would, that's the only thing I would
Yeah.
No.
So let's see as much as you can permit, what specifics you can mention as maybe mistakes from your part, or red flags that you saw.
Okay, I'll speak.
That you ignored.
Red
the ones you can take. Yeah.
Okay, so for red flags, temperament were two different people.
Yeah.
And I saw those, just assume that, I'm a dependable truck, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, people pleasing, I want everybody to be happy, peace in the Middle East.
Yeah, even if it's to your detriment, you can take it. Yeah.
Me, I will do it. Used to, and with two different persons, and I saw it. So I mistook it. So a lot of us, we mistake control for love. So in my own case, I saw control. I could see I saw it. And I thought
it was love.
It was caring. It was protective. So I mistook love. I took control for being protective.
Okay.
Understand? And
yeah.
What I later realized, that when a man or a woman cannot control or manipulate you, resentment would build. Anger would come.
Yeah.
If addressed, it would get out of hand. So that one, I saw that clearly. Then temperament.
Okay.
Then family values, family culture, family.
Yeah.
I saw them, but I just felt
You didn't think it was a big deal, right?
I didn't think it was a big deal. I honestly didn't think it was a big deal. I just felt, it's just typical guys. And another thing I mentioned here, even if you're not an outgoing person, you don't party, you don't, it's important you spend time together. So I think it is like now for the single people, but back then your parents probably wouldn't allow you leave the house. You'd have to, close from work. But I was so doing work, home, church. Wednesdays I'm in church. Mondays I'm Bible study, day star. And my office was on the island. So I didn't even have time to just... So when you spend time with your partner, be it male or female, in their own environment, with their friends, you tend to see things say.
True.
I didn't do that. I knew he did things. I just felt when he gets married, he will change now. And I used to be a believer that they need the first person to do anything. If he's ready. So
do it.
I didn't try.
Yeah.
That's the truth. I just so when he realized, and I think because I was very quiet then, he assumed certain things that didn't now play out the way he expected, and that became triggers. So he realized, you can't control person, you don't control people, and so that's how the whole thing started. And so for me, I did see them, but I honestly didn't read. And another thing, I kept asking myself, okay, what else did I miss out? Because I took time out to walk through as painful as it was, I walked through the whole thing at every point, what I could have done better, what I couldn't, what I did, owning my own part of the breakup. He's not a bad man now. He can't be the only one. You won't be the man now. Yeah. Even if it's 5%, you own some. Either you're an enabler or you're the problem. You also the ability to look through and be honest with yourself, and accountability, and seek help. And say, okay, fine. These are weaknesses. These are my own red flags. I am my own I self-sabotage myself. Identify what your weaknesses are.
True.
Then you can.
True.
So you can start speaking.
Sorry.
So, yeah.
Let me, that point is so heavy. I don't want it to just pass like that, because I feel like this is the hardest part for people to do, to come to terms with their own truth, especially as it relates to their vulnerabilities, to their weaknesses. It's easy for someone else to take the fall. Do you grab? Like, it's just okay for it to be their fault. It's them. If only they did this when I told them to do that. So I believe that if people are able to put the spotlight on themselves and look within and say, okay, it's possible I did something wrong. There are people who, everyone in the community says, you're a talkative, you're a noisemaker. And the person doesn't know, I'm very quiet too. I know I'm very, very quiet. But the people you're doing life with are telling you this is who you are, but you don't accept it. Yeah, go ahead.
They're giving you feedback and you refuse to accept the feedback. Okay, so I just remembered something now. When I did that critical personal analysis of myself, my marriage, and it was hard. It was like they were hitting you with rocks.
Rocks,
where God has blessed me with a village of amazing women. I have one or two of them here. Awesome. Amazing women that they do not send you. They will give it to you as it is. And
you need such people in your life, man.
I have a where they would sit you down. So one of my weaknesses then was I did not communicate. I did not know how to. This one I'm speaking English. It's taking me years to actually.
Wow.
Like so I come from a family. I'm a Yoruba girl, born in Water States. My parents my mom is a Edo. My parents not wanting us to get lost in Delta culture. They believe that Delta children are not respectful. So I use the word oppressed for lack of a better word. They instilled and, choked us with that respect. You must respect.
Yeah.
So I tell them, I said, I probably didn't have a voice because my elder sister, so that was my own trauma. I did not realize it. So when I got married, sit down.
Okay.
It was frustrating to him. And when you pick 1, 2, and out. So if you do not express yourself, how do you expect your partner? So that was one of. So when I left, I took that away, and I started working on it.
Excellent.
And I was intentional. I went to my friends. I asked my people close to me. I say, yes, now you just sit down and swear like Greg. I will not communicate.
You really grow for worry.
I just sit there but guess what? We have work, all the learning, the unlearning. Sometimes you find yourself in space. But it's okay. Pick yourself up and continue. There are days there are days you still get it wrong. There are days you make the whole thing and you're like, how did I get here? So there's no shame. Failure is feedback. Failure.
True. Somebody needs to hear this. Failure is feedback.
Feedback. So I tell my friend, so when she comes that, oh, Mama, I did this, I say, it's feedback. So what's your takeout? Exactly. And she say, oh, we take it from there. Okay, fine. How do we work on it? It doesn't happen again.
So that means if you're not able to play back and see your own part in it, then you're most likely going to miss the lesson, and it will most likely happen again.
And you'll be in that sort of relationship again. So how did I start? Before I got help, I started writing. I started journaling.
Oh wow, journaling. Yeah, that's one way.
Yeah. So I feel if you hurt me, for example, or you upset me, I would write. I will write everything that has happened,
Word
for word, and all glory to God. I would write everything that happened. And by the time I finish writing, I realized that when I read it, it's not such a big deal now. So why are you? So
wow.
So that started. Then I identify that I have my own trauma. I have not trauma. I have things that bother me. So if you upset me, I query that anger. I query the anger. I said, why am I upset? I started asking myself, Titi, why are you upset? Why are you upset? Is it because of this, or this has triggered something? So when I started doing that, I realized that you're in control of your emotions, and we give meaning. So the meaning we give to things matters.
Yeah.
The meaning. If somebody calls me stupid, if I empower it and say I'm stupid, if he says I'm stupid, that's his own belief. Am I stupid? No.
Am I stupid? No.
But when you're in that space, that heat, that anger, that passion, when you're upset, the emotions are raging, you don't process it that way. You want to get back, you want to, because you're hurting, you're afraid. And most of the time, anger is from a place of fear and shame.
Yeah.
Shame. There is fear. And this over the years, you now create what you call automatic thoughts. So you're sitting down, I'm supposed to come on this live, and I've started telling myself, what if people are very critical of me? So already I'm trying to discourage myself. And this is an example, though.
Yeah.
So that's what we all find ourselves in that space. Automatic thoughts just start coming. And how do you quieten it? How do you manage it based on your experience? You start, what if I get there and people actually listen? What if God is sending me out today to bless, even if it's just one person that would that would make his relationship better? You understand? So it's a lot of personal thing. And I strongly believe that you need to work a lot on yourself before you start venturing into relations. Because it's not your partner's relationship. I learned that along the line. It's not my partner's responsibility to make me happy.
Yeah.
It's not his job.
True.
It's not his job to make me happy. It's my own. Happiness should be a state of mind.
Yeah. True.
So,
and the challenge with, sorry to cut in, the challenge with expecting that someone else will make you happy is that, first of all, that is something that human being has sufficiently of themselves. All right. There are cases of people who were known to make other people happy commit suicide. DJs have committed suicide. Comedians have committed suicide. People who you thought were just the easygoing friend of all, nice and easy, no issues in their life. So my point is, seeking for happiness from someone else who also doesn't even have it in sufficient supply, and has his own issues to deal with, is you outsourcing a very core area of your life, all right, to a third party that cannot help you. Yeah.
With his own life.
Exactly. So you need to know how to take care of that part of yourself by yourself. Okay, it's not something that your partner will supply to you. If not, you're always going to be unhappy. It's even said that you're
always going to be disappointed. But that's one thing they didn't teach us.
Wow.
And it's missing. It's actually missing now in this generation. It's missing.
It's true.
It's missing. Okay, so I stumbled on this program, quite annoying, on YouTube, where you pop the balloon.
Okay.
You guys will pop the balloon, and I honestly was warned not to watch it. I just checked it because it didn't make sense. It was and all the girls, you can't take care of me. You can't make me happy. You don't have money. You don't destroy that. So it's repeating itself in a different way.
Wow.
So you get married. The boy or the woman is the man, for example, now is wealthy, and God forbid you get married 2-3 years down the line, something happens. Are you prepared for tough season? There are different seasons in life. Are you prepared for that season?
True.
So when the money you leave him, the love dies, the feeling dies. Life
True.
will stop
Exactly.
life will stop life. So when you talk about happiness, that's feeling, that emotion, it's something I also have my days where I feel very low, and so it's life. So when you're there, we call it a pity party. You are the guests, you are
You're the
the
host
host,
and the guest.
you are the live DJ, you are the hey. But when you don't stay there for too long,
Get out of it.
know that not a place. Take the learning, get better, and move on. So this
Thank you.
thing of my spouse needs to make me happy, because my marriage didn't work, or the relationship I was with him for 8 years and he dumped me. Maybe you just dodged the bullet. And
wow.
She left me for a richer guy in Canada. Maybe you just dodged your bullet.
Maybe.
How do we start in these things differently with a different, how do we look at these things and say, okay, fine. Sometimes people are in long-term relationship and we know there's no future.
Yeah. We know, actually, yeah.
We just stay because we don't want to start another one. We are comfortable. It's convenient. It's familiar. We are free.
That's true. It's fear.
The devil I know is better than the angel I don't know. How can they be ever better than me?
How can?
And
for
me, it's very important that after each relationship, I call it detoxing. You detox yourself. So
very key.
Don't run into another relationship and all that. So it's a lot of work, but the healing journey is very important. You can't heal without being vulnerable. You can't heal without submitting yourself. You can't heal without being critical. When I mean critical, not condemning yourself, not judging yourself, without being intentional about, okay, fine. Knowing these are I was speaking with my sister before the live, and we're talking about intentionality, about looking at personalities. Covenant Church, they have this female program going on, Pastor Toyin and all that. So my sister was telling me about a lady talking about this personality from a God factor, from a different angle, where the weak side, your weaknesses is something you take to God to help you. You sit with God and you become stronger and better. It's not something you just say, like we said, this is who I am. No, you have to identify. It's not an excuse. I'm a Cancerian. I'm a Cancerian. We can be moody. From where to where?
Yeah.
It's
not working for you. You have to learn how to drop it.
Attitude, work on it.
Yeah.
So seeking help. So this is where we talk about therapy. At some point, I got therapy. I got help, and I realized I'd made a lot of, I'd been too critical. I'd killed myself before they killed me. I was living in shame. The marriage did not work. I've shamed my family. I brought disgrace to the family. I lost friends. My friends, and I lost, people. But the truth is, when healing started, and let me mention, healing is a journey.
Yeah, you don't finish it now.
So healing is a journey, and it's like this. If you learn a topic in math, right? And you do not have a test, you don't practice, they don't give you test questions to practice that formula you've learned. So you wouldn't know if you've or not. So it's important while you're in the journey, be open. That I didn't do. I just shut down. I was in that journey for years. I shut down, and up until recently, I realized that I don't know how to receive help. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So that is
yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
So these things, I tell people that I want to be better by the day. I have days I am -0, can go on for a week or more. But the fact that I know this is so the healing. We talk about healing. Healing is not 1, 2, 3. No, healing is a life, because
Yeah, it is.
will meet people that trigger you. You will meet people that will remind you of your boss. Before I got healing, I had a boss, a British man. 2015, 2016, he was exactly my ex.
Wow. You had to work with him in the office.
Character, body, size, posture, everything.
How did you cope?
I had a breakdown. I left the company. He came 2015. He traumatized me. I left the company. I resigned 2016. They called him back to the UK after they heard what he did to me. But he did not understand that he was a trigger, because I had not healed. So if I was that person now, I would know how to handle him, because I've healed and I've dealt with someone like that. I don't know if you understand. So it's heal. There is no shame. Get professional help.
True.
It's important. So you are not healing you are not healing along the way. Go prepare for marriage. Prepare. Get professional help. Marriage is a sign. Get professional help. Pray, by all means. Pray.
Oh yeah.
Seek God. Ask God. Even as practitioners, I don't do things without asking God. I take everything to God. And it's God that gave us the science and the formula. So if you're a Muslim, do what you have to pray. But it is so important, so critical that you get professional. You seek help. When you're in a relationship 2 years, 2 years, and you see it's not aligning with you, please, nobody will kill you.
Yeah.
So that you are not frustrated. You are not making mistakes. You are not choked. You are not bitter. You don't end up leaving the marriage 30 years after and you are filled with resentment. I heard of a couple that they divorced 45 years after marriage, after 45 years of marriage. 45 years. It was the man that endured. The woman was the terror.
Oh my. Oh my.
The children were in support of it, that their father.
Like you have tried, please.
Yes, please.
Oh God,
he wants the rest of his.
Wow.
So that's so important. I don't know if you guys can watch. There's a program on Netflix, very silly, about baking. So they have something called Nailed It, where you have amateur people that don't know how to bake. And as I was watching, the Holy Spirit was speaking to me about something about your life and the foundation. So for you to make layers, you need to have a solid foundation in terms of cake. The first cake, the base cake. I don't know how to bake, so pardon me. The base cake, solid, certain diameter. I don't know, the chart has to be correct, because they're going to layer over 6-7 other pieces over it. And I realized that half of them, their cakes were like this. And they put over. And that is how life is without God. That is how
life
is without God. That is how the marriage is preparing for it. Even when you prepare, it's not like you would not have your challenges, but you already have guidance. You've been told ahead that you people would most likely have conflict around these things. You already have your conflict resolution strategy.
Yeah.
And how do you resolve conflict? Do you keep malice? Is it that you offend me, I offend you? I won't talk to you for 2 days.
I won't talk to you. I'll sleep in this room. You sleep in that room.
How was your day? You have touched it. You swept it under the carpet. How do you resolve? What's the strategy? Do you understand? There's so much in this healing. So the healing is a journey. It's a journey, and sometimes it's hard. It can be hard.
You know, one thing I can take away from what you've said, which has come emphasized severally, is the need to actually seek professional help. You know, because I mean, this live session, even if we just dedicated it to talk about healing, we can't do justice to it in 1 hour. you know, we can't do justice to this. Many of these therapy sessions go on weeks and weeks and weeks because it's a journey, you know. The events that have made you, the events in your life that have made you the kind of person you were up to the point where you needed that therapy did not happen overnight. So it is insane to think that the help you will get, the transformation will just be magical overnight. No, because you're dealing with the mind, you're dealing with traumas like you mentioned. And you know, another thing, some people don't know some people don't know what traumas are. They don't know how bad certain things have impacted on them and how it's impacting on their relationships. All right, until they start talking with people and they see that, hey, you're able to show them. I remember there was someone I spoke with. He was in his late 30s or early 40s, but the issue he was having was something that had happened to him since ages 7, 8, 9, and he had lived with it as an adult. Now he's been responding to people based on the things that happened to him then. You know, so that's a trauma playing out.
Let me tell you how bad trauma this thing is. This you see these words we say to people. You're stupid. You don't have sense.
Whoa.
It goes along with my third level or third level. I was to write we had a mini project and I wrote it. This is the first time I'll say this out. I wrote it and my supervisor marked it. And he said my grammar was weak. You know, I carried this thing all through. I carried that word. So every document I put together, I would write documents and send to the UK, to the US. And I would still feel you see me. I took him who was, where are you coming from? Why would you? That was feedback. Okay, I need to, maybe this project, I didn't give you the words. I didn't put in the words that, okay, but I just took it in that, I condemned myself. How old was I?
Yeah.
And that happens to a lot of us. People have said things to us that we just take in, and you probably have forgotten it, and it didn't bother me, it didn't disturb me. You now marry someone or you're dating some girl that her mouth is, he just says something and he hits that point.
He hits you, yeah.
And you overreact. And that thing has been there for 20 years.
Yeah.
Sitting pretty.
Yeah.
You know, so it's important.
So I was just trying to emphasize, that people really need to seek professional help, you know, so that they can help you get into parts of your life that on your own you may never get to. You know, and it takes a lot of emotional strength.
Tools for all these things. There are tools that are available.
Yeah, there are. You know, a lot of people don't know. It was when I started doing this, my sessions and interacting with people, that I discovered that what's the word now? Where you just think, I just thought everybody, people know what's up, like what are you going to tell them? But I was shocked at the kind of things that people bring to me, and like, you don't know that? No, they don't know. You see, and just imagine that, just imagine there was no one speaking to them, or they were not even willing to seek help. That's how they will carry that notion to adulthood, marry, maybe the marriage will not work, they'll transfer it to their children. Those ones who grow up like that, transfer, you know, and you know, that's how I believe the world has just become quite a messed up place when it has to do with marriage and families, you know, because people have transferred a lot of negativities that could have been killed.
They've inherited it.
Yeah.
It's been passed down generation to generation. Sometimes it's generation or spiritual.
Sometimes it's not spiritual,
It's pattern.
Deep mindsets and patterns.
Belief systems. What belief systems that my father, my great-grandfather used to do it. How has it empowered your family? How has it changed your family? How does it make you feel? So it's a lot is going on, and there's information everywhere. But then, how do you get the positive from the negative? How do you get the ones that are healthy? What do you consume?
Yeah,
you know, it's a lot. lot of work. But to just sum up for me, I would say it's a lot of work, intentionality, vulnerability, and it's hard.
Yeah. You know, somehow you've already spoken to how you came out, because you said when you came out of that marriage, then, you know, you said you were a wreck, you know. So I take it that it was these processes, you know, or maybe you can just also speak to it,
But
your healing journey.
A lot of people did not know. And the funny thing, I did not know.
Wow.
It wasn't like I was acting angry. I was fine.
Yeah, normal.
I wasn't normal.
Okay. I was thinking of that
too. Okay.
Yeah.
I'd lost my essence. I'd lost me. I became a shadow of myself. No, everything was just fine. Nothing mattered. That's fine. Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's fine.
Wow.
Every other day, I had malaria. I was having malaria every day, every week. I became very...
What kind of malaria is that?
I think it was I'm telling you, because I blamed myself for everything. So I felt I had failed. I felt I failed my generation.
Wow.
My parents, let me say it in pidgin. My papa and mama marriage no scatter. Why not my own? Who I can resemble?
From my family.
Nobody was stressing me back home.
Yeah.
But I just was mad at myself. Like, how? So that speech to people say perfection, that I didn't realize it was actually Ebon that made me, took that part, that made me see that side of me. I didn't realize I liked it in a certain way. It has to be done this way. It has to be. So I also had control. I would like to manage.
Yeah.
In a very soft way.
No,
wow. So and I would say, no, I didn't do anything. It's a lie. We know what we do. You know. Okay. But we know what we do. There are times we have to, but at times it is totally not necessary. You understand? So
yeah.
And fortunately for me, the hospital I was attending, there was a mental health doctor there.
Oh, good.
He was serving as a GP. So each time he would look at me and like, madam, what is wrong with you? I would say, no, I'm fine. No, I'll speak English. Back 2 days later, I'm fine. No. What is wrong? My eyelash is taking me. But guess what? That was the only place I found. The only place I could hide. That was just the only place. I would just go there and sit down. The hospital, I would just go there and sit down. The medication they give me, I won't use it. I would just So we got talking. He started speaking to me. Then somehow the lady introduced me to a therapist. And that was when I knew it was serious. So we started unwrapping. The first thing he told me, he said, forgive yourself.
Yeah.
He said, you're too hard on yourself. It's okay to make mistakes. He said, it's okay. Titi, it's okay. That it's fine. He said, once in a while, just laugh at yourself. So you are too serious. You take this day. You just make fun of yourself.
Yeah.
And we started unwrapping a lot of things, my childhood, how I grew up. I started pointing certain things, started identifying certain things. I had a lot of tasks to do for myself, by myself. And so it's been a journey. It's been about 14 years with journey.
14 years.
It doesn't stop. Yes.
Oh wow.
It does.
Wow.
It is version of me, and it's a lot of work.
Wow. I mean, it's good to meet this version of you now.
Maybe the other version was better before I entered the marriage. So please, guys, if you are not married, please prepare for marriage.
Yeah.
There's nothing like red, blue, black, green, white. It's a different ball game. Dot your I's, cross your T's.
Yeah.
See, so you are not thinking of healing. Come up with a strategy. Review your plans, even while you are dating.
Yeah.
Have it. What is your formula? What formula? How do you see your marriage? And plan, and not just have a vision board for your marriage. It's not just your career.
Very key. Yeah.
How many children do you want? Or you don't want children? Okay, 3 years after. Okay. Have plans. These things. Seek help. Pray.
Yeah.
Seek God. You know, so important. So we're not talking about healing. So we're not talking about healing. We're not talking about healing. You prepare. Just the way I tell people that marriage is like the way you work your salvation with Christ. We all want to make heaven. We pray, we try, we pick ourselves. That's how you work your marriage. It is that serious. True. Everybody has, Christ is parent. But it's important. If you prepare, you're going for an interview, you're writing your master's, you're praying for your PhD, the amount of work you put in, if you even try and put a quarter, just a tiny bit, in yourself, being a better person, being a kind person, you would see it. So guys, please, it's important. Take care.
I believe you've done justice to this, man. I believe you've done justice to it. I can't thank you enough. You see, these last things you just said about when you're doing your doctorate, your BSc or master's, your doctorate or something, how you put in so much intentionality. People don't know that marriage requires seriousness and such deliberateness too. And I tell people, I say, identify any great thing in life, anything at all, that succeeded just by chance or by happenstance. You can't find anything like that. So how do you think that marriage should just work like that? Okay, you don't become a medical doctor by just saying, I like medicine, or I like medicine, I like it very well. If I like that lab coat they used to wear, let me go and buy the coat and wear. You don't become a doctor like that. You don't become a doctor just because you hang around doctors a lot. You have to go through the training. You have to go through, all of that, the learning part, the practicals. You have to get certified. You have to pass exams. All right. And if people put in just half or maybe a tenth of the kind of seriousness they put into pursuing their career,
talking about being a doctor, very to cut doctors, you keep having professional exams.
Oh yes.
Professional exams. Even when the marriage work, that is when you work. You have your retreats. You have your planning time. You have, it's important.
Yeah.
It's important.
Yeah. So thank you so much. I mean, you have done us so much good. You've done us so much good.
It works. We were able to come up.
Yeah, in fact, I'm so glad. I was so scared. I was so scared that, if we tried today again, it didn't work. Like, what are we going to do?
Then we'll now go on our knees and
yes. Yes. Thank you so much, TC. You've done so great. I really appreciate you. So thank you guys. A lot of people hopped in and out in the course of the conversation, but I'm glad those of you who are here to the end, thank you so much for staying. I hope you've learned a thing or two. Please feel free to share the video. It's going to be hosted on our handle here on Single and Ready Club. It's also going to be hosted on our YouTube page, also Single and Ready Club. So please feel free to watch again. Feel free to share. A lot of people need help. And if you don't know anyone you could speak to, please, both of us on your screen right now, you can reach out to any of us you're comfortable with. We can help you. When you hear us talking about seek professional help, yes, we are trained professionals in this space and we can do you good. Trust me. All right. So someone says, I see you have the values of Pastor Nicky Ademi Desta. They've got you. The person has a very sharp shooter. I mean, he got you there.
Wow. Let me respond.
It got you there, man. That's so cool. You know, that's so cool. All right, so thank you guys. Adegbami, please feel free to reach out to me in a bit after the session. I need to get your number again. All right, so thank you guys. Thank you so much, my guests. Titi, thank you for coming on live with us. All right, so we'll go back to our regular Wednesday 9 p.m. All right, so please don't think it's a Saturday thing. Everybody, it's Wednesday. That one is still there. All right, and this Wednesday is going to be interesting. Hopefully, Instagram doesn't stress us like this. I'm supposed to have 2 people in the room this Wednesday, a guy and a lady, and they're supposed to just share like, what's up, what's going on. Guys, why you tire me like this? Girls, why you tire me like this? You know, let's just see how we can talk, and hopefully we can touch things that are in people's hearts that, you know, they're not able to tell their babes and guys. All right, so we're going to have a guy and a girl, and promises to be interactive. Thank you so much, Titi. God bless you. Have a beautiful day. All right. Yeah. Okay, everyone. See you guys again on Wednesday. For me, it's signing out. Bye.